In the early 2000s, in a cramped dorm room with peeling paint and a humming old computer, a young student opened his laptop and changed the way Wall Street saw itself. He wasn't a billionaire hedge fund manager or a slick banker in a Manhattan skyscraper. He was barely 20 years old. He wore headphones too big for his head, ate instant noodles for dinner, and lived on borrowed time. But he had something Wall Street had long forgotten: curiosity. And curiosity is dangerous. Because when you point curiosity at a trillion-dollar industry built on secrets, sooner or later, you find something you weren't supposed to. This is the story of the student who outsmarted Wall Street, a story about greed, power, and the terrifying price of being right. His name was Alex Tan. Not a prodigy, not a genius, at least not in the way people expected. He grew up in a modest home in the suburbs. His parents weren't rich, but they taught him something Wall Street never did: that rules exist for a reason. Alex was fascinated by puzzles. Sudoku, Rubik's Cubes, encrypted codes he'd download from the internet just to see if he could break them. When he entered university, he majored in computer science, but his electives were finance courses. Not because he wanted to get rich, but because he wanted to understand how the world's money machine really worked. What he discovered disturbed him. Wall Street, at its core, runs on algorithms, trading bots, mathematical formulas, and automated systems that decide what to buy and what to sell in milliseconds. Humans still sit in offices, yes, but the real battlefield is invisible. It's data, it's speed. Alex wondered, what would happen if someone slowed it down? So, in his spare time, while others partied or played video games, he began writing code, line after line. His roommates thought he was just another obsessive coder, lost in his world. But Alex wasn't building a game. He was dissecting the very bloodstream of global finance. By accident, he stumbled upon a pattern. It started with a graph that didn't make sense, sudden spikes, then drops, repeating like a heartbeat. He thought it was an error, but after weeks of testing, he realized he had found something else: hidden signals buried in trading data. What he was seeing was evidence of manipulation. Large firms were sending out fake orders, thousands at a time, only to cancel them in microseconds. It was called spoofing. To the untrained eye, it looked like normal activity, but Alex's algorithm peeled back the disguise. He saw exactly when, where, and how markets were being distorted, and he had proof. When he shared his findings with his professor, the man leaned back in silence. He told Alex, "If what you've discovered is real, you're holding dynamite. Handle it carefully." But Alex wasn't careful. He wrote a paper. He uploaded parts of his research to online forums, not realizing the eyes that would find it. Within days, his inbox filled with strange emails. Some congratulated him, others warned him to stop. A few came from anonymous addresses offering him money, a lot of money, to take his algorithm offline. He ignored them all. He was 20. He thought the truth would protect him. He was wrong. Word spread fast. By the time major news outlets picked up whispers of a student challenging Wall Street, the machinery of finance had already turned against him. Investment firms claimed his work was flawed, dangerous, even a threat to national security. Lawyers sent cease and desist letters. His university received calls from concerned donors. And yet, in back rooms and hushed conversations, traders admitted what they never would in public. The kid had figured it out. He'd exposed a system everyone profited from, but no one dared to question. Alex had pulled the curtain back, and Wall Street hated him for it. But this wasn't just about money. It was about control. When you expose corruption, the system doesn't congratulate you. It swallows you. Soon, Alex noticed he was being followed. A black car outside his dorm that never seemed to leave. A stranger at the cafe who always sat too close. Friends stopped returning his calls. Professors advised him to drop it. His laptop was hacked, his files wiped clean. In a matter of months, the student who once dreamed of solving puzzles became the puzzle himself, a missing piece in a game much bigger than he ever imagined. To understand why, you need to understand what Alex really uncovered. Spoofing wasn't just a trick, it was a weapon. By creating fake demand, traders could tilt entire markets, pushing prices up or down at will. Billions could be made or lost in minutes, and ordinary investors were left in the dark. For decades, regulators turned a blind eye. After all, who could even detect it? It was too complex, too hidden. Until Alex. He built a tool that not only detected spoofing, but predicted it. Imagine holding a compass that points directly to Wall Street's lies. That's what Alex created, and that's why they couldn't let him keep it. By 2012, the pressure was unbearable. Alex dropped out of university. He disappeared from public life. Rumors spread. Some said he'd been hired by a hedge fund, locked into a contract that silenced him. Others whispered that he fled overseas, afraid for his life. A few believe he was quietly erased, but fragments of his code still circulate on underground forums. Traders talk about it like a ghost in the machine, a phantom algorithm that reveals too much. Some claim it's still being used, not by students, but by the very firms Alex once exposed. His creation didn't die. It was swallowed, repurposed, weaponized by the same system it was meant to dismantle. And so the question remains, what happens when truth is too dangerous to tell? Alex was just a student, a curious mind with no agenda but knowledge. He didn't want billions. He didn't want power. He wanted answers. But on Wall Street, answers come at a cost. His story isn't about money. It's about innocence colliding with greed. It's about how one young man saw the cracks in the foundation of global finance and paid the price for pointing them out. And maybe it's about us. Because every time we swipe a card, invest in a fund, or trust the markets to be fair, we're living in the house that Alex tried to warn us about. The student who outsmarted Wall Street isn't in the history books. You won't find his face on the covers of magazines. But his ghost lingers in every unexplained market swing, every sudden crash, every deal that feels too good to be true. And maybe that's the cruelest irony of all. He solved the puzzle, but we were never meant to know the answer. So the next time you hear about a stock rising overnight or a market collapsing in seconds, ask yourself, was it chance? Or was it the same game Alex once uncovered, still being played in the shadows? Because if one student could outsmart Wall Street, imagine what else is hiding there.